to. Sorry, I can't because I have to get bajarme del bus.
Thank you, Monica. Don't worry about it. And welcome to everyone to a new session of Toastmasters LATAM English edition. But what is Toastmaster? Toastmaster International is a nonprofit educational organization that builds confidence and teaches public speaking skills through a global network of clubs that meet online and in person. In a supportive community or corporate setting, members prepare and deliver speeches, respond to impromptu questions, and give and receive constructive feedback. For this session, please keep your microphones mute unless you are speaking. Keep your cameras on so we can see and get to know each other. And we applaud in this way. So without further ado, I want to pass the floor over to our president, Ana Mari Solano. Go ahead, Ana Mari.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to me to be here as we gather together to grow as every session. My name is Ana Marie Solano. I'm located here in Panama City. As you know, as the name of the club, Toastmasters LATAM, we have members across Latin America. Either not only Latin America, I can say American continent. I want to start by acknowledge the incredible decision and commitment of each one of you to be here today. Toastmaster is not only just a platform of communication, it's a platform of growing, growing as a leader, as a better version of person that we can be in our families, in our leadership communities, and in our also in our work environment. Leadership is a journey and not a destination. Every step can be a role play. So thank you so much to take the decision to be here today. We will have today an amazing Toastmaster that say, I want to have this role, this opportunity. I don't know how to do it, but I will try. So I will present I cannot say as a newest, but it's one of our most recent member, and her name is Ines Bukenyenesa. Thank you so much. The floor is yours, Ines.
Thank you so much, Madam President Ana Mari, for your words, for your introduction, and good evening to everyone, wherever you are. It is my greatest pleasure to be able to be the Toastmaster for my very first time. So it's exciting. And the theme of tonight is going to be about, doing the very best we can in everything. This advice is emphasized by the late Maya Angelou, who says, do the best you can until you know better. And when you know better, do better. I would say that this is definitely one of my favorite quotes, and I truly love it, and I try to live by it. And doing the best that we can really is an advice that can be applied in everything. It can be applied in everything in life, your professional life, you as a mom, as a sister, as a friend, as a citizen of any country, as a human. We need to do the best in everything. And I believe and I hope that is exactly the reason why we are all here, so that we can do the best when it comes to communication, to leadership, so that we can improve in those areas and so that we can do better in everything. Now, for today's session, we have three parts or three sections. All of them are very important. The first one is about the speeches, and also the second part is going to be about the table topics. The last one, but not the least important, is going to be the evaluation. And throughout the session as well, we will continue with the theme, which is the one I just presented to you about doing the best. We'll continue talking about it. And I would also appreciate, like, at times I'll be able to ask if one would like to add something to what I'm saying for like a very, like, few seconds, like 20 seconds. Now, without any further ado, I would like to introduce to our general evaluator so that she can introduce her team. It is very important, the role of the general evaluator, because that's where we are going to learn what we are doing great, where we have to improve. And, you know, that's exactly why we are here. And I present to you Marjorie Duarte Sheffield, who's going to introduce her team to all of us. The floor is yours, Marjorie.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I was invited at the last minute to this meeting. Therefore, I don't know who all of you are, but I'm going to call the way I remember this. No agenda on my hands, but please, the timer. Where is the timer? Who is the timer? Report, Enrique. Would you please give us your position and explanation?
Okay. Listen me. Everybody listen me. Thank you. The time is money. The time is money. That is really. It is because once you lose time, you will never get it back. Not even a second of it. Time can be used to make money, but money can't be used to make more time. In this night, I am timekeeper. My responsibility is straightforward. My role is to record the time of your speeches and inform you if you are on time or not. Please listen carefully. Icebreaker speech, 4 to 6 minutes. Project speeches, 5 to 7 minutes. And table topic, 2 minutes. Another is evaluation speeches, 3 minutes. Now, let me to explain the you sign flag. In this moment, is the flag color indicate your time status. For example, green. In my background, I have flash green. Green meaning the speaker is within the optimal time. Yellow is the speaker is approaching the recommended time. Red flag, the speaker has exceeded the maximum time. And blue, you need to stop in your speech, please.
Thank you, Enrique. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like for you to raise your hand and keep it raised all the time. That way, you are going to be seen by the speakers. So please raise your hand and leave it there. Next, the grammarian. Who is the grammarian today? Ana Maria, you are welcome. I don't know if you are going to give us the word of the day, but at least please give us an explanation. Thank you.
Well, today my role is the grammarian. I will try to press attention for the grammatical errors that we have in the use in the language of English, and I also have the commitment of share the word of the day. In this occasion, I share the word advice. It's a verb that means offer a suggestion, guidance, or either communication to someone. often is used to the role of leadership to help others to take a decision or to solve sometimes problems. For example, the leader advised her team to approach challenges with an open mind and to seek solutions collaboratively. Thank you so much. Back to you, Miss Evaluator, General Evaluator. Stop
Thank you,
share.
Ana Marie. An advice for Enrique. I don't see your hand raised. Keep it raised, please. With the reactions, keep it raised. The accounter. The accounter is Julio Centeno. Oh, you... Okay, welcome, Julio.
Ya me toca explicar.
Yes.
Okay. Well, before I start, I just want to say sorry if my English is not perfect. I don't speak so well, but I try. Well, in my job tonight is be the counter of field words. Okay, and what are field words? Well, are unnecessary words or phrases that people often use in speak to fill pauses or to connect their thoughts. Then can make your speak sound less clear and more uh, instant. Okay? Our example of fill words in English, well, the most common as like the phrase like the other ones as that's the short version. The long version as words like so, well, actually, and basically. Um, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julio. You did a great explanation of your role. And at this time, what I'm going to do after the meeting, after it's over, I will give an evaluation of each role: timer, grammarian, accounter, and Toastmasters. The evaluators, I will see if I'm going to evaluate them too. The speakers are going to be evaluated by the evaluators. Back to you, Ines.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction, for explaining each role. That's amazing. And so everybody just be careful. Remember to use the word advice, and every time it's used, this is how we're going to clap every time a person is using it. And also be careful with the time. I think Margarita has shared the agenda in the chat, where, on the screen, I believe. Not the screen, the chat. So that you can download it and read as we go if you're not so sure about your time, so that you can have a look on the paper that she sent. And also to be able to follow what they have explained to us, so that at the end we can get the evaluation. So now, without any further ado, we are going to go to the very first part, which is the speeches. And the very first speech is with our one and only Orlando Tavares, with his very first speech. And I really love the title, rekindling, but sorry, I apologize. Remember, this is my first time, so I think I skipped something. I need to introduce the evaluator. Just doing my best, everybody. Remember the theme of today.
Don't worry, Ned.
Right,
You are doing great.
The
Don't worry.
evaluator of the very first speech is Margarita Velasquez. She is going to tell us the objectives of Orlando Tavares' speech, and The floor is yours, Margarita.
Thank you, Ines. Okay, the first speech is about an icebreaker project. And the goal of this project is that the member learn the basic structure of a speech, and for the member to talk about themselves with the objective that we can get know about him. So this is the objective in this project. Back to you, Ines.
Thank you, Margarita. Now, yes, back to you, Orlando. The title of your speech is Rekindling the Spark, My Journey Back to Toastmasters. That's a great title, and we look forward to hearing your speech. All the best.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmasters, my fellow Toastmasters. Good evening. As Inez, the Toastmaster, I mentioned, my name is Orlando, Orlando Tovares, Orlando Eduardo Tovares, to be more precise. Who am I? Am I an engineer? Am I a leader? Am I a normal person? Who am I? Do you know that, as the title said, my journey back to Toastmasters, it is because, do you know that I was a Toastmasters back in 2014 until 2015 in the United States, in a small city named St. Charles, and the Cave Springs Club? It was at the Chambers of Commerce in St. Charles. And it was every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. I got early my first day in September. And I remember a month after, I did my first icebreaker speech. I did not remember what was it. I guess I talk about myself because it was 10 years ago. I was a shy person. I was afraid. I was looking for advice to develop myself. And all of you will ask, how do you meet them, man? How do you meet those masters over there? In 2012, after my graduate school, 2011, I don't remember, it was between 2011 and 2012. I went to a networking event. I was invited by a professor to that networking event, and I met a guy named Dale Phillips. And he asked me, Orlando, why do you enjoy those masters? It's gonna be about networking. I said, yeah, right, yeah. But 2 years after I decided to quit my job, I remember that guy, and I looked for Toastmasters, and I saw the Toastmaster club near where I live. I was in English. I didn't have the chance to speak in Spanish. I met so many wonderful people over there. I met Dale, Elaine, Lori, Bill, and Mary, who helped me to grow. In that time frame, from October to May, I did the 10 speeches in less than a year, and I earned the Toastmaster Award. It was a big star. I don't remember. I have it in my mom's house. I really love it. But I went back to Panama in 2015. There was not Toastmaster back then. Or if it was a private club, so I couldn't join. So I decided to wait a little. And it passed the years and years. And finally, I decided to do the step again. Be a Toastmaster. I wanted. I really like the networking, really like the people. So much amazing people I met there. A lot of friends. They were like family for me. One of the reasons I decided to go back, to rejoin Toastmasters, to reconnect my spark, it was because I want to regain confidence in myself after I had a bad situation at work. I lost something. And Toastmasters back then helped me to regain my confidence. And I want to gain again. I want to do it again. And the second one is because I want to be a leader. Back then, we have a booklet that has the icebreaker and the leadership module. Today, we have pathways. But I have pending to do the leadership models. I didn't want to do it because I did not see myself as a leader. I want to be seen as a leader in my work. I want to see as a leader with my friends, with my family. I was a follower back then in 2014. I don't want to be a follower. I want to have followers. The third reason is I want to reconnect. I want to connect, to meet more people, wonderful people like you are. I want that experience again. It's been said that if you have good friends, good clubs, you will grow. And I want to grow. I want to look for advice. A lot of things have changed in 10 years. And last but not least, I want to be a speaker, a technology innovator in TED Talks. That's my main goal in my life. So Toastmasters will help me to bring that, to do that, to accomplish that. Leadership, reconnect with myself, regain confidence, conquer my fear of being a leader, be an innovator, a tech. That's why I decided to join. Thank you very much. Madame Toastmaster?
Wow, wow, wow. Your speech was as great as your title, but it's not up to me to say how your evaluator, Margarita Velasquez, will be able to give you the feedback, but I think you did wonderful for being your first speech, and we will hear more from Margarita. Back to you, Margarita. Or if you need some time as well, that's okay.
Just give me a second, and
Of course.
I'm trying to do my best. Remember that this in English, I'm trying to translate everything that I thought and that I'm
No
thinking.
problem.
So
You
okay.
take your time. Take your time, Margarita. In the meantime, we continue with the theme of tonight. And once you're ready, you can let me know, Margarita. Is that okay?
I'm ready.
Oh, you are? Okay, great.
Okay.
Back to you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, Orlando, it's good to see you making an icebreaker in English. So I want to, I don't know, congratulate for that because you are, I don't know, because you are strong, you feel strong and you feel very with self-confidence, and I like that. So just to that, your vocal expression was excellent. You play with the volume of your voice and stay dynamic throughout all your speech because you play with your hands and with your expression, with your facial expression, and that was very good. What can you improve in this in this project? Well, you were already introduced by your name in a speech title, so I encourage you to don't spend those valuable, I don't know, that important seconds in your speeching, in your speech, present yourself again. So, or greeting everyone. So, because you are already present before. And finally, I remember that you are talking about a part of your life. So I challenge you to one, that start with a strong opening that grabs your audience attention and connects that, and that opening, that strong opening connects that you connect that what you are talking to, that you connect that you are about to say. And finally, remember that you are talking about the part of your life. So I challenge you to let go of the paper. Don't read it, because just let your flow story so you can stay connected with your audience, because we can see that you make this in this and this because you're trying to remember what are you talking about. So if that is your story, so let it flow and everything's going to be all right, because your English is very good. I think that you can do it. And thank you very much and congratulations again. So back to you, Ines.
Thank you, Margarita, for that valuable advice that you have just provided, not only to Orlando, but also for us. We take notes so that we can apply the feedback to our next speeches. That was amazing. Thank you both. Now, and also for some people who have succeeded in life, for example, Michael Jordan or Steve Jobs, when we look at their stories, we can learn how they had to face so many failures. They failed many times, but they kept trying to find out what they can do best, how to improve. And as Orlando was saying in his speech, he had to approach somebody. At times, we don't know what's the best thing to do, but we can approach someone so that we can get the advice, so that we can improve on what we are doing, and so that we can reach what we want to accomplish. So it's important not to be afraid to ask for advice. Now, I'm going to introduce our next evaluator. Is going to be our dear Ana Marie Solano, who's going to introduce our second speaker of tonight.
I will introduce the objective of the second speaker. The objectives are: the first one of this project is that the member clearly define how Toastmasters conceive mentoring. And the second one in this speech is that the member shares some aspect of previous experience as a mentee. Back to you, Miss Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ana Marie. And our next speaker is Raquel Guarepe, with the title, The Best Apprentice is the Teacher. I have got the opportunity to hear Raquel few times already in the previous sessions, and I can't wait to hear what you have to offer today, Raquel. The floor is yours.
I never imagined I would get into trading, but I did. It seemed like something so complicated, so many buttons, tools, information. Getting into the stock market, seeing red and blue candles going up and down, graphs, lots of money earned and lots of money lost in the world of trading. A world that seemed to me almost like gambling, to be honest. But I found out very quickly through my mentor that the most important aspect of trading is all in the mind and the emotions. There's nothing to gamble when it's done right and when you know what you're doing. I, being a huge fan of the things of the mind and the emotions as I am, quickly decided that this was for me and that it wouldn't be easy. I was right. Turns out that I'm very good at it and I like it. And above all, I am inspired by my mentor every day, someone who genuinely wants me to succeed and is completely honest and transparent about what it takes. He shares his story with all of us, his disciples, as he calls us, and how the secret of trading lies within the same secrets of life: patience, humility, perseverance, detachment, discipline. He described trading one day in one phrase that I will never forget, when he said, trading is simply money given to the patient people by the impatient people. He described how when he got really good at it and he won the prize of the year for best trader in the world, He lost sight of his own morals, his own values, of himself. Arrogance took over him. He started making the wrong choices, breaking his own rules, wanting just a little more and thinking he knew better than the basics and the fundamentals. How by becoming overconfident, he started making mistake after mistake and lost so much money, he became miserable in life. As I listened to this story of his about what he went through and his advice, I was thankful to be doing so. It meant I didn't have to make the same mistakes. It meant I didn't have to go through that, right? I knew better now that I heard it from him, right? So I made commitments with myself that I would make wise choices, accept my losses if I had losses in trading, stick to the basics and the fundamentals, be humble, be patient, detach, all the good qualities that make you successful at it. Thanks to that, I became flawless at trading. For a whole month and a half at some point, I was on a daily streak. I was getting so much money out of it. And best of all, it also made me a better person because it was just as good of a life advice as it was trading advice. And with each win and each day, I became more and more confident until one day I got too confident. 1 month and a half of immaculate winning, not a single loss. And then one day I lost $5. Can't just lose $5. Imagine ruining my streak for $5. If I can get that $5 back, at least I can break even and I didn't lose anything. So I'm gonna get that $5 back. And then I heard a voice in my head, and the voice said, accept your loss and move on. And of course, I pushed it to the side and decided that I would just do fine and it would be all right. I would just do it once and it'll be all right. I would never do it again. It would just be this time. And of course, I lost more. I failed again. And instead of getting that $5 back, I lost another 20. No, I'm not walking away with that loss. I am not walking away with minus $20. I'm getting my straight back. And I'm sure I can get it back. I'll keep it. I lost another 60. And again another 80. And again another 200. I wish it didn't take more than $200 to realize I was screwing everything up. But it did. So I stopped and asked myself, what am I doing? This is the very thing my mentor told me not to do. And look at me. I feel miserable for doing it, just like he did. I realized it wasn't so much about losing money, but about how bad I felt breaking my own agreements because I thought I knew better and failing anyway. This experience made me realize that not just in trading, but how in life I could exert better control, self control, humility, detachment, discipline, and how if I kept on walking this path and making these choices, I could end up the same way as my mentor or worse. He had warned me. I had to accept that sometimes in life, things just don't work out. And you gotta have a skin thick enough to get through the rough days and accept your losses. Life is still mostly good. Most days will be good. Things will always get better. But some eggs may break and some milk is going to spill along the way. And we don't dwell on that. We become miserable if we do. And that's trading. And that's life. With this in mind, I corrected my behavior before it was too late and burned the account. Accepted my loss for over $200 at this point when it could have been just 5, and decided to learn from my mistake and start over. If I hadn't had such a good mentor, it wouldn't have been possible. Perhaps I would have gone through hell first, like he did, before I got back up so quickly. I was inspired to get up and move on keeping on, knowing that he and many more like him and me experienced the same things that I did in that moment. And knowing that even after you think you've mastered trading or life, you can always, no matter how experienced and confident you are, trip over and fall. After all, the best master is always a disciple. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Raquel, for sharing that information with us. For your speech was absolutely amazing. And you became our teacher for a second as your mentor was teaching you. So we can hear and learn from those mistakes that you did. And there is nothing better than the failures, the mistakes that we make, and especially the attitude or the perspective that we take on our situation. Because as Raquel says, there are good days and there are bad days, and that's how it's going to be always. So it's about your attitude and your perception on everything. Now let's see what your evaluator has to say. Ana Marie Solano, the floor is yours with the feedback.
One sec.
Of course, take your time. And I find that that speech of Raquel really matched with today's theme. That was amazing.
I'm ready.
All right, for yours.
Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Jim Rohn. Raquel, it was a powerful start. I never imagined. I love the way you start. It put off our attention to your story that you just shared. The use of your hands, the way that you use the values in this speech, patient, people, different kind of values, was good. Your pronunciation, I also have to say that it was excellent pronunciation and your confidence. But I have to challenge you also in this evaluation. What are the challenge? Probably next time you can use less support material because I'm for sure that you know your history, you know the message, and that will connect more with your audience. Although I was seeing the audience in this speech and the people was smiling, was reacting to your speech, that was good as well. The other part of the evaluation, unfortunately, the first objective of it was not achieved. That was that the project have to clear identify how you see the Toastmaster conceive mentoring. Probably on the next opportunity, you can provide that feedback. In addition, I want to give you, I know that some evaluator already tell you this, but I want to give you one more time this. Probably in illumination, the way that you use the illumination in the place that you are having, you can change probably the way that you use the laptop. The background probably you can use like a background with one color probably will improve the speech. But otherwise, the speech was great. The message was powerful. And thank you so much for sharing that message with us. Back to you, man, Toastmaster.
Thank you for those important feedback. All the information that you shared was useful for Raquel and for all of us, I'm almost sure. Before we go to the next section, which is the table topics, which will be led by Katia Baez, with the director of the table topics. Actually, I would like to just emphasize a bit more of the theme using the example that I had given of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was not favored by many coaches because of his height. He was very short. And he says that he has failed 9,000 shots and he has like lost 300 matches, but that never stopped him from continuing to try and try over and over again until he was able to get better. Now, as we continue with the second part of the session, Katia Baez, the floor is yours with the table topics. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, Ines. This is a very exciting part of the night because part of this section is to continue improving our improvisation and our improved thinking. So now that we are with the word advice, that advice can mean suggestion, ideas, and anything that we can think that we can improve. I'm going to have some question around this word. So I will say I want to first start with Margarita. If you can answer the first question. If you were a president for one day, what would be the first action to your country?
Oh my God. Why you asking me in this moment? We have a lot of we have a it's not the better time of my country. I'm from El Salvador in Central America, and the first things that I would do, I don't know, maybe a government with more empathy and with more justice. And I feel that happened, or that we missed the sight, and we have only thinking, and we have to press the to get in the jail to the bad guys, and maybe everyone wants to see that you are working in great I don't know, monuments and other stuff like that, and suddenly we lost this human side that you never have to forget. So if I were a president, I would try to governate with more justice, with love, with empathy, and trying to do a better society to everyone, to recognizing that everyone have different needs, and that you have to make plans to each part of the society that have these different needs. So that was my back to you, Katia. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
very
the
much,
question.
Margarita. I think that justice is the one thing that everybody expects from one president. I mean, to apply justice in everything so we can live in peace. I think that in our country, in Latin America, that is everything what we want from our governors. So my second question, just around this advice. We all know that advice can be, there are two ways to get advice. And advice can be good and advice can be bad. So I would like Enrique to ask the following question, if you want. I want you to tell us, how can you differentiate a bad advice from a good advice? Well, let me take, you are taking the time. I can take it for you. Well, I don't have the background.
This question is for me.
Yes.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. You know that there are two types of advice. You can receive an advice from me or advice from anyone, but there are sometimes that are advice that are not good ones for you. There are advice that can be good for you, but you are, because everybody give advice from their experience. So how can you differentiate what is a good advice from a bad advice?
Okay. A bad advice and a good advice. What is the difference?
Yes.
A good advice is very easy. It's accompanied with the done, with the, that is no words. Many people talk very much, but never say that. I think so. A good, for me, I think so. Bad advice is you help to improve in your life. When you change something in your life, is the better advice for me. I don't know. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Enrique. You summarize, but that is absolutely right. We get advice from everyone, but the good advice are the ones that make us better in a way. So that is the right definition. So talking about changes, I would ask Marjorie, if you can ask the next question. This is related to our first question about if you were a president, but this is a different, has to do with the school system. I would ask you, what would you change about the school system, the current school system in your country? You're in mute, Marjorie.
Thank you. Okay, what I would change of the school system. Here in the United States, if I were the president, I would change the following. The school system should be in each state, belong to each state. Decentralize the school system, decentralize the education system. And everybody, every state, every state government should be in charge of the schools to suit better each state. And evaluate much better how the children are learning. Those things that taking tests that are exactly the same and children have to pass those tests no matter what is wrong. So children must study and pass the test. And I think each teacher should be accountable for those things. So pass it to the states for them to regulate their own states, their own school system in their states. Back to you.
Thank you, Marjorie. You're right. Then we have to evaluate how the kids are learning. That I think that the best evaluation to understand what we have to change in our school system. I think that I have a space for a couple of of a couple of questions. I would ask, yes, Ana Maria? You would, okay, this is, my next question is about advice. What was the best advice that you ever received in your life?
One of the better advice that I was receiving in my life was in the corporate world, and it was back when I was working in HP Hewlett Packard. I was like in a mentoring or coaching program, and the mentor was uh, giving us advice of how to enjoy more the life, that we don't have to push us like very hard, that we just have to balance more our life. But at that time, I was very young. I didn't understood the advice. But right now, when I see young people with that energy, um, that they want to kill the war and the war is in their hands, I just tell my mentees, hey, try to relax, try to enjoy, try to have like more peace in the emotion, because you are when you have too many things in the life, sometimes you get bored out, and something that will be like good for you in the life, uh, it became the opposite side. Doesn't know if you are following me when where I want to connect or provide the that history, that portion of that advice. But it's happening often to me, that and it happened in every part of our life. At least I just received a call in the beginning of this meeting from one of my professor, and he told me I have too many things in my life, the things in church, my family, my job, the thing in the university, that I can take the phone to call you in a week. So probably you have to revise your calendar. Back to you.
Thank you, Ana Maria, for sharing that. I mean, I think that that is important to take in consideration, and as an advice, to taking things easy, not easy, but get the right balance, we can say. Okay, we have last question. Who would I know that I mentioned the first three, and the last two I just wanted to say who want to answer it. There is one candidate that want to answer the last question.
Maybe Enrique, sorry to interfere, but yeah, I wanted to ask Enrique if you are okay with time. Can do one more. How are we doing with the time?
No, thank you. In this moment, no.
No, how are we doing? We are okay with time? We can do one more? Or the time is over? For the table topics?
The time is over.
Yes.
The time is over.
Okay.
No more.
No more. All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Enrique. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Katia, for the questions. They were amazing questions. They made all of us, especially me, they made me think and try to see what would be the answer, especially the question you asked about what's the best advice you ever got, or what would you do if you were the president? So great choice of questions, and thank you so much for that. It was amazing. Now we will, Marjorie Duarte Sheffield. Thank you. Now, the floor is yours, Marjorie. You're going to tell us about how we did. You invite your team to see how, as everybody, all the members, how the whole session, how we were doing. The floor is yours, Marjorie.
Thank you so much. Before I give my evaluation, I would like to start calling the side evaluators. Let's see. First, the timer. Enrique, I would like for you to give us the time of each one, or at least tell us if we were in the time frame, within the time frame.
Okay, thank you. I share my screen in this moment. In this case, I show my report. For example, Inés, okay, Ana Maris, no, Julio Centeno, and your role at the counter, one presentation, and this is the presentation, 1 minute. Your time was 1:33. My time is not, it's over. Another Margarita. This is this speech. The speech, Margarita is evaluator. 33 seconds. And the presentation, the objects. Orlando Tovares, your time was 6:10. That is good for me. Thank you. Margarita Velázquez, in your evaluation, 3 minutes. And Ana Maris, in your evaluation, 2 minutes 40. And Raquel, in your speech, 6:21 minutes. Another person, Katia Baez. Katia Baez is for, okay, those 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 6. 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Katia Baez, in your participation in this teacher.
Thank you.
About a table topic, about speech table topic, there are many people. For example, Marjorie, 1 minute 43, Margarita, 1 minute 44, Ana Mari, 2 minute 2 minute 10 seconds. And I finish with that. Oh,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's continue with Ana Mari as a grammarian, please.
Thank you. When we are practicing English aimed at improving our pronunciation, we sometimes have omission of the subject. Is in general my evaluation of the subject of pronouns. For example, it's a raining day. It's raining today, sorry. The correct sentence is, it is raining today. In other type of error that we commit when we are trying to improve our English is we misuse the preposition. I depend of my parents. The correct way is I depend of my parents. Or also the last that I just note, literal translation of phrases. And agree with you. The correct way is I agree with you. The use of the word and also in addition, our past president used when she was doing the evaluation, she was trying to use like you use valuable time, something like that. Probably she can use you miss precious time with the introduction, something like that. The use of the word of the day was used by 2 person. Inés, the Toastmaster used it like 3 eyes. And Katia used it too. Back to you, Miss Evaluator, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. The accountant, Julio. Are you ready?
Yes, ready. Thank you. Well, we in the part of filler, as Margarita Velasquez, you say times, time, and two more times. Okay, Raquel, you have only one thing. You have one thing. That's very good. And Ana Mari Solano, you have a three times, three more times, one times, and two more times. And Katy Baez, you say one time, in one time. That's all in the fillets. I recommend how can we reduce the use of filler words or verbal tics. That's very safe. Practice the pauses. Plan what you want to say before I speak, and more practice. That's all. And thank you, and sorry for my English.
Thank you, Julio. Don't apologize for your English. It's very good. I don't know if you have studied out of where you are, or you are just learning, doing it here, through here, or on your own. I don't want to hear anybody here saying an apology because of their English. All of us are learning. So don't do it. Just love yourself and do it. Margarita, who is the next one? Oh, Katia, I have to say that you did wonderful with those 4 questions. Excellent. I really appreciate it. You put us to think about that. The first question was excellent, great, with Margarita answering it about her country. I don't know if I would have answered like that, but it was on point. My question was also good. All of them were really very well constructed. Thank you for doing that. The Toastmasters, Inés, Nadia Buqueyanesa. You did excellent. And I love all the quotes that you brought to the table. The Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you do better, and then do better, and then do better, and better, and better. Follow that. All of us have to follow that. And after that, mentioning Michael Jordan and Steve Jobs. Well, you were great working on those things, and you were killing time when the evaluators were trying to catch up and get ready to give their evaluation. Ana Mari Solano, you were the grammarian. You did well, really well. I have only one suggestion. You said 2 persons. In that case, say 2 people. And the accountant, Julio, well, I told you, don't apologize. You said that twice. When you introduce yourself, and now, no, don't do it. Please don't do it. And the Toastmaster, you too apologize. Why? You did excellent. That's one thing. If you are doing something wrong, when you apologize because of that, you are calling the attention of everybody else, the audience, to that mistake. Let it go. Let it go. Don't ever say, I apologize or I'm sorry. Just keep going. And I assure you, nobody's going to notice that you made a mistake. Probably the people that speak English as a native language, they probably would know it, but they're not going to say anything. So don't say I'm sorry and don't apologize. Keep going. Enrique, you did well with your evaluation, taking the time, but you didn't need to explain it each one. Just show it and just mention the ones that were overtime, and that's it. One suggestion that I have for this club, because the evaluations are done exactly after the speeches, I suggest for the timer to give 1 minute on the clock for the evaluator to finish with their evaluation, and everybody is silent. And let's start. 1 minute on the clock, or you can say 45 seconds. That way, the evaluators are not under that pressure. It's only a suggestion. You don't have to change it. You don't have to change how you are doing it, but it's a suggestion. It starts on time. I don't know what time, how long does this meeting last, but I think we are on time. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the evaluation that you provided for everyone. We are taking something home, that's for sure. And I think now the best advice is do not apologize. And I like that. I like that because it is true. When you apologize, it's true. You are bringing the attention. Probably nobody had noticed, and then you are creating something, a situation that could have been avoided. So it's just to find a way of playing through. If it was a mistake, let's say you are presenting its technology, it fails you, just find a way of killing the time as you solve it professionally. So that's great. Thank you for the advices. And I hope all the feedback has been taken. Now we are towards the end of our session. Just something to take you home is that when we do our best, it means we are deciding not to give up, because you only fail when you give up. Life is about learning. It's lessons. When you give up, you are failing, that's for sure. But when you say, I'm going to try and do my best, you're already succeeding. You're already on your way to success. So let's keep doing our best in everything. And before we finish the session, I'll give back the floor to Ana Maria Solano, our president.
Can I say something very quickly?
Of course, Marjorie.
I made this note here for Margarita Velázquez. When you call her for the evaluation, she said, and that's why I'm saying to give a minute. She started doing like this. Oh, I'm trying to translate everything in my mind. And that shouldn't happen. Just let them that little time and they can collect their thoughts and do it. It's easier that way and everybody can enjoy it. Back to you.
Absolutely. Yes, great. Yet another great advice. So as we were emphasizing, if something like that happens, just take it easy. Someone was talking about taking it easy. It was Ana Maria, I believe. Yes, great. So many advices today. And back to you, Ana Maria, for the closing.
Thank you so much for this amazing session. I was thinking when I was here, our evaluator of the day, that 1 year ago when we start this crazy project of make the last session of the month in English, we were like 2 or 3, and it was like feel like the session was like, it's in English. Oh no, we just only put in English the speeches, one speech in English, and that's it. But today we have an entire session in English, and we have to feel proud of the result of it. So a big applause for everyone. A big, 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 big applause. And we will keep improving ourselves. Thank you so much, Margaret, for all the feedback. And we will take note of it. I will switch to Spanish to make the promise of our newer member, Orlando Tavares. Orlando, we usually, well, I continue in English. Usualmente, Orlando, cuando entramos, el último miembro nos recuerda esas promesas de Toastmaster. Así que te invito a que abras tu micrófono y nos las leas una a una y nosotros te escucharemos.
Como socio de Toastmasters International de mi club, prometo asistir regularmente a las sesiones del club, preparar todos mis proyectos con máximo empeño, con base en el programa de Toastmasters, preparar y completar las tareas de la sesión, proporcionar evaluaciones útiles y constructivas a mis compañeros, ayudar al club a mantener el ambiente positivo y amigable necesario para que todos los socios aprendan y desarrollen sus habilidades, servir al club como oficial cuando me lo soliciten, tratar a mis compañeros del club y a nuestros invitados con respeto y cortesía. Trae invitados a las sesiones del club para que puedan ver los beneficios que ofrece la afiliación a Toastmasters. Cumplir con las pautas y reglas de todos los programas de educación, reconocimiento de Toastmasters. Mantener altos estándares de honestidad y ética durante todas las actividades de Toastmasters.
Bienvenido, Orlando, a este tu club. Como siempre digo, nos convertimos en amigos y poco a poco vamos generando esa confianza que nos ayuda a ser la mejor versión de nosotros mismos. Y ya para finalizar, el último anuncio, la semana pasada les prometí que el día de hoy les iba a hacer un anuncio importante. Ayer nos reunimos con la universidad, la USMA, donde hicimos nuestra primera sesión presencial hace escaso un mes, si mal no recuerdo. Nos han dado nuevamente la oportunidad de hacer un open house. Así que voy a estar trabajando con nuestra VP educativa, Inés, para hacer esa agenda y pues poder brillar en ese evento, poderles traer las bondades que tiene Toastmaster para ser mejores líderes, mejores comunicadores. Son jóvenes de la Facultad de Negocios y lo que buscan es poder hacer un convenio para darnos un espacio. En esta oportunidad va a ser de 1 hora, pero ya cuando hagamos un convenio marco, ya la sesión podemos fluir ya a nuestro modo, con nuestras agendas. Pues ahorita mismo tenemos que impactar, hacer una reunión inolvidable. Buscamos la manera de ver con la virtualidad de manera híbrida. Voy a trabajar con Inés cómo lo podemos llevar, ya sean los evaluadores online, los que van a estar dando discursos presenciales. Vamos a buscar la manera. Va a ser el día jueves 19 de septiembre. Vamos a ponerlo ya en el Excel para ir cogiendo los roles y demás y pues ahí les estaremos anunciando para ir promoviéndolo. Así que ya sin más, esperemos que todos tengan feliz noche. Acuérdense anotarse para la próxima sesión. Toastmaster es importante, evaluar en general es importante, todos los roles son importantes, así que vayan anotándose. Si tienen acceso al tool de la agenda automatizada, pueden entrar allí. Si no, al tool anterior, pues como les sea mejor, pues y a seguir en su camino del recorrido de Pathway. Gracias, Marjorie, por apoyarnos en esta oportunidad. Eternamente agradecidos. Que tengan todos feliz noche.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Gracias.
Buenas
Buenas noches.
noches.